Going into Euro 2024, Austria had the unenviable task of trying to progress out of a group that contained both France and the Netherlands. Poland aren't a slouch either, and they've defied all expectations and managed to qualify first. And today, we're going to be taking a look at how they did it. This is how Austria shocked Euro 2024. This Austria side, coached by Ralf Rangnick, yes, that same Ralf Rangnick from Manchester United, is the living embodiment and the proof of a side that has the squad and the collective in mind over the ability or the real style of individuals. Utilising a 4-2-3-1 formation, Rangnick has got this Austria side playing some incredibly intense football. Their utilisation down the wings is just one of the major avenues that they have to really go forwards. And if we take a look at an example, I'm going to use the Netherlands game that they most recently played as this example. We can see a number of different things. Now, if we could compare their average positions to the Netherlands, you notice that this Netherlands midfield is almost drifting over to this left-hand side, and you've also got their right-back moving forwards and a little bit further in field. Gertrude is a very good player in his own right, but if we look at the Austria side, we see automatic balance, and this is what I mean by prioritising the collective over certain individuals. You've always got your pairs, you've always got a balance within the squad. So you've got, in this instance, the two holding midfielders, you've got the fullback and a winger, two centre-backs, and of course the centre-forward and the attacking midfielder. The utilisation of this balance within the side not only allows for Austria to be that little bit more dynamic, but their bravery off of the ball to allow them to push that little bit higher up the pitch just puts teams on edge. And this also gives them a massive plus when it comes to starting matches. Austria have a number of early goals, and this, I believe, is down to the intensity that they show from minute one. Again, in comparison to the Netherlands, Austria were far more balanced, they were far more composed, and they also worked for each other a lot better. I mentioned the utilisation of the flanks as well, and if we were to take a look at this is Austria's play map essentially. The lighter areas are places that they had higher concentration and higher possession, and if we can see here, they utilise the flanks really well. In particular, this Austrian right-hand side, the Netherlands left-hand side, clearly utilising a tactic to occupy and isolate their left-back and obviously their left-sided midfielder, who in this case was obviously Nathan Ake and Joey Veerman. So it's just a number of different tactics and a number of different positives that Austria can draw from their performances, and it doesn't end there. And then you're wondering, do they have the quality to go forwards? Can they attack? Well, of course we can. We mentioned their ability to go down the wings, and in particular the right-hand side, but it was actually the left-hand side here that one of Austria's goals comes from. We've got a pass through in between the lines to the Austria player who's going to be running and beyond towards the byline right here. It's a fantastically weighted pass. And then you're wondering, does he have the quality? Can he line up this pass and try to get it into the box? Well, they have a number of quality players, so of course they can. It gets chipped into the box and gets headed in for, I believe, Austria's second goal. They are fantastic, and without the energy, without the work rate and the added quality that they have in their side, they wouldn't be doing anywhere near as good. And Ralf Rangnick has managed to pull all of these Austria players together to get them towards a common goal. Let's take a look at another example, because Austria are just fantastic. This is in the game against Poland. This is one of the goals that they scored in their 3-1 victory in the second game of Euro 2024 for them. Now we have Wimmer out on this right hand side. He's going to pass the ball through into Zeiwald, who is then going to recycle it around to the left hand side. Now this is 3 passes in total, and if I have any England fans watching this, you'll know that this same move to go from right to left would take England about 5 or 6 passes due to the slow tempo, due to the lack of momentum, but But with this Austria side, it's about pace, it's about precision, and it's about making sure that you're in the correct movement and in the correct position at the right time. So Wimmer plays this pass round, and I just want you to keep an eye and a focus on this player right here. This is Austria's right back. He's going to make an overlapping run while Wimmer then runs back as well to join in with the midfield build-up. Now, this is all about maintaining different positions on the pitch. It's maintaining that balance and allowing Austria to be balanced when going forwards, but also when going backwards. As long as they have players in the correct positions, they're able to continue their attacks in a more balanced manner. The ball gets played through, and then it goes to Seiwald, who then plays it round through to the left back of Austria, who then drives forward. Now, it's really important to note that when they're going forwards, they need to have balanced players in particular positions. This allows them to have a better opportunity of going forwards, and a perfect example is right here as we move the play on. Look, here is the right back. Now, obviously, he's not a right winger, but in this particular instance, they've swapped positions, and it allows for Austria to be balanced, one on the right, one on the left, and two in the middle. We remember talking about those partnerships, those pairings, allowing for Austria to have better positioning and to spread out that opposition defense. The ball gets then played into the likes of Arnautovic and obviously Baumgartner, who ends up scoring. There's a dummy from Arnautovic after this pass, which is absolutely fantastic. It allows Baumgartner to drive through the heart of this Poland defence. It is a fantastic piece of play. It's brilliantly worked. It's brilliantly set up. And just the positioning, the awareness and the intensity that Austria played with just is so refreshing, and it makes them one of the most exciting teams to watch at Euro 2024. But Austria aren't only about making sure that they have those tight-knit passes through between the lines. They can also be very direct if they ever need to. This is then off the back of them being able to push really high, be really brave, and make sure they have those aggressive tendencies off of the ball. But before we show that, I want you to take a look at the spacing and positioning that these Austria players have. You've got the two centre defensive midfielders, you've got the two centre backs, and of course you've got the left back and the right winger, or the right back here, who's dropping back to receive a pass. A pass currently isn't on because of the press that is being applied by Poland, which means that Austria are going to go long. And when they go long, they also have the ability to be that little bit more aggressive, win this first header. Winning the header is so important, because then you have runners off of the ball. Look, you have Marcel Sabitzer, who's currently already on his bike, ready to try and gamble. Make sure that he's there to be able to get onto that knock-on, to be able to go forwards and drive towards the opponent's penalty area. It just so happens that the striker gets his head on it, he gets that knock-on, and then Sabitzer is able to take a touch and drive. It's so important, so good, so well done, and I've been so impressed with the way that Austria go forwards, the way that they mix up their play. They can be direct, they can play through the lines, and it's their quality that shows them to have a fantastic chance of breaking down sides. This doesn't lead to a goal, but it does lead to a penalty. It's brilliantly taken by Marcel Sabitzer, and it does get converted, but it just shows that there is another string to Austria's attacking bow. We've spoken about Austria being able to go forwards and attack with a rhythm and a momentum, but also defensively they are very difficult to play against. France found this out in their opening game, when actually the only way that Austria conceded was through an own goal. And yes, this is down to the incredibly aggressive pressing that they have and their bravery off of the ball, but it's also down to some individuals. I want to talk about Niklas Seiwald, their centre defensive midfielder. He plays for RB Leipzig currently, and I really do think he's setting himself up for a big move. A lot of these players have come through the RB system, which has had a massive influence from Ralf Rangnick, and Seiwald is one of these players. At only 23 years of age, he is really making a name for himself in this tournament. He has 13 tackles to his name in the last 3 games, the only games that have been played at Euro 2024, and of course he is just brilliant at breaking up play, making those tackles. In fact, he has more tackles than any other player at Euro 2024. And with him and Stefan Posch, they actually have 48 defensive contributions. That's taking into consideration clearances, tackles, and interceptions. 48 defensive contributions between 2 players across 3 games. Austria are fantastic defensively, and at the same time, they're not too bad going forwards as well. You might say they're the complete package. Earlier on, I mentioned Austria's high press and intensity, and it is a hallmark of the way they play and go forwards. There are a number of examples of them doing this, but I chose this particular one. The ball is currently being cleared by one of the Netherlands players, and it goes out towards their left-hand side, towards Xavi Simons. Now, just take a look at this. Look at what is happening right now. You've got 1, 2, 3 players for Austria just immediately closing the ball down, obviously compounded by Marcel Sabitzer making sure he's got that movement towards Xavi Simons. But really, it is fantastic. The energy that they show on a continuous basis is just unbelievable. So overall, Austria are a side that is both defensively solid, very aggressive off of the ball, while also having the capability and belief within themselves to be able to go forward and utilise different aspects of their game. Their energy, their high press, their ability to utilise plays in transition, as well as making sure that they are defensively resolute, makes them an extremely difficult opponent to face. But at the same time, it makes them really entertaining to watch. They're definitely a team for me that you should be looking out for in the knockout stage. Austria have shocked Euro 2024, and it's pretty easy once you break it down to see why. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you check out the rest of my videos on the channel on Euro 2024, and stay tuned for what's coming up in the future. Like I said, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.